Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are doing well. Welcome to the online pregnancy school. I hope you have been learning a lot and sharing with friends and family. For those who have subscribed to our channel, who have been reaching out to us, thank you very much. If today is the first day you are joining us, this is the online pregnancy school, and my name is Dr. Linda Vanutu. Like I say, it is always a pleasure coming your way with discussions that will help to improve on our lives as we become pregnant and as we take care of our children. A couple of months back, we brought you sessions where we dubbed it My Story. And today we're going to continue with another interesting and important story, which I believe you will learn a lot from, and hopefully it will help us as healthcare providers also to improve on the services that we deliver to the clients who come to us. If you haven't done that, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and remember to turn on the notification bell so that you will not miss any session that we bring your way. So I'm going to introduce my guest to you now, but I want her to tell us more about herself. So, Auntie Ellen, you are most welcome.
Thank you, Ma. I appreciate it.
Kindly introduce yourself briefly to us.
Okay, my name is Mrs. Elena from Dazi. I am a level 400 student at the University of Education, Winneba, studying community-based rehabilitation and disability studies. I am a mother of 6, 5 boys and 1 special girl. My only girl has cerebral palsy. Okay. And yes, and I also run an NGO named With God Cerebral Palsy Ghana. Yes, that assists children with cerebral palsy. Yeah.
Wonderful. 6 children. Wow. Yes. And still in school. This is a very, very big encouragement to somebody out there who has 1, 2, 3, 4 children and thinking about going back to school. So Mrs. Afamdazi is telling us that it is possible. So don't let the number of children you have, stop you from going back to school if that is what you want to do. So Mrs. Afamdazi has told us that she has a daughter who has cerebral palsy. So today, that is what we are going to talk about. Her journey with a child who has cerebral palsy. But Mrs. Dazi, first of all, thank you so much for finding time to share your story with us. I know that this is going to bless somebody, and it will also encourage someone out there. And so we say a very big thank you to you. Can you tell us, yes, briefly, when you were pregnant, was there anything that seemed unusual to you?
Actually, I got pregnant after 3 months of having my second born. So just 3 months when I visited my husband again, another one came in, and that luckily happened to be Nanama. And during the 6 months, there was like kind of exchange. The child is too young. Why are you having another one? So that kind of misunderstanding was there, whether to keep it or to get rid of it. But I was so keen in having it. But what actually happened was that at my initial stage, because I had the other boy, and I think I missed antenatal till the 5th month. I started antenatal on the 5th month. And when I went to the hospital on the 5th month, they were like, why did you stay home for that long? And I said, oh, because I had a little child to take care of. But there was something strange that happened. I went for a scan, a normal antenatal, normal routine scan. But when the one in charge of the scan was having it, it got to a time he shouted, hey. And I asked, why hey? And I asked, why hey? And in fact, he said, nothing. When you go, your doctor will tell you. I said, you just screamed, hey, so why don't you tell me what it is? But he said, when I get to my doctor, he will tell me. When I got to the doctor actually didn't mention anything of that sort. So I asked him that the man that was taking the scan screamed, "Hey, what is it?" He said, "It's nothing." So I also thought that, okay, then it might be nothing. Maybe he had his own issues that I was actually thinking of. So I came back home. But on the 6th month, I developed some hip problem that I couldn't walk. It took me like 30 minutes to walk from just a chair to the bathroom. That was just a short distance. That would have taken me like a second to get there. So I went back. They gave me some painkillers and other things. And after some weeks, it got better. So after that, I would say that the rest of the pregnancy was actually normal. It was okay. Apart from these 2 incidents that happened, the rest was okay until birth.
Okay, so when you went to deliver, did the baby cry immediately at birth? What happened?
Okay, so I got in labor. That was on the Thursday. After church service, after I had gone to church to sing, then labor started. And it started so severely that I asked my husband to send me to the hospital. When I got to the hospital, I was told that latest by in the next 1 hour or 2, I'll give birth. But strangely, the labor pains reduced. And I was there. Those that came after me gave birth, and I was still there. I was in labor. The pain started. It comes severely and just goes. It comes seriously and it goes. So I gave birth on the Saturday. Labor started. Water broke everything, but that was Thursday. But I gave birth on Saturday. And on that Saturday, one strange thing that happened was that when I gave birth, the midwife that delivered the baby was asking me which sex do I want, saying they knew I already have 2 sons. Then I said, "Oh, I want a girl." Then she asked, "What if it's a girl? If it's a boy?" I said, "It can be, it's a girl." And she said, "Pray that your child cries." I said, "How?" So my child is not crying and you are still talking to me about which sex I want. So she left me and attended to the child. And a few minutes time, I heard the child crying. So just imagine that if she spoke to me like for like 4 or 5, 3 minutes before attending to the child, it took a while for the child to cry. And the labor itself, as I told you, that everything started on Thursday and I gave birth on Saturday, was also prolonged. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So after that, was there anything that made you think that your child would have cerebral palsy?
Okay, initially I have never heard of cerebral palsy till the following days that came that I got to know that I have a child. I didn't know anything like that. I didn't even know much about jaundice and any other thing. So on the second day, I noticed that the child was warm, was running temperature. I would say that. Then I asked one of the nurses that it's like, my child is warm. She told me that some children are warm-blooded. That was a word, quoting. So there's nothing wrong with it. So there's nothing to worry. Some of the children, they are warm-blooded. That is what she said. So I also went home. But unfortunately, when I got home, instead I have 2 boys. Now I have a girl that I've been yearning for. I should have been happy, but I wasn't. My child was not breastfeeding well. She wasn't crying much. She sleeps all the time. And Africa, Ghana, when you give birth, you need to stay indoors with your child. All curtains closed and everything. So I was indoors, not noticing that maybe there was a change of color or anything. I noticed that the child was not breastfeeding well. She sleeps most of the time. In fact, she was always sleeping. And when she wakes up and she wants to call my attention, like cry, the cry was not that loud. She cries small and she sleeps again. So I noticed, but because I was mostly indoors and there was no curtains that was being open and other things, I didn't see the color. So it was then that I noticed that no, there's something wrong with this child. So I decided to go to the hospital. That was on the 6th day. So it was when I stepped out that I went to the hospital. The doctor looked at the child and said, "This child is yellow." That was all he said. He said, "This child is yellow. We need to rush this child." So he asked me where I want to go, whether Kolebu 37 or La General Hospital then. Then I said, "No, I want to go to 37. Then they referred us to 37. That was on the 6th.
All right. So that child was deeply jaundiced.
Deeply jaundiced. With that, even a lame person like me could see that the child was yellow. She cries and the yellow foams up, the face, the elbows, the almost everywhere that she actually folds up. You could see the yellow. She was yellow. The skin was yellow.
Okay. And did they explain to you what the implications were for the child being so deeply jaundiced?
Okay. Nobody actually told me. All that they asked was because the temperature was 41.9. They were really, what they asked me that as he convulsed, as she had any seizure, I said no. So they just rushed the put fluid and also put her under the phototherapy. Nobody told me about that. They said, when did they start? I said, I don't know. The yellow thing, I don't know when it started, but what I know is that on the second day, she started running temperature. They said I should have brought her longer than that. I said, no, but the nurse told me that everything was okay. So that was what I was basing on. But nobody told me that, okay, so your child has had jaundice. No, but they told me that the phototherapy will clear the jaundice off, and the fluid that they were giving will also clear it off. So at that time, I didn't know anything about CP then.
Okay, so nobody explained to you what the implications
No,
were.
nobody
When did you
explained to me
realize
what the
that the
implications.
child could not do what children her age were supposed to do?
Okay, so at that instance, nobody told me anything. The end results of the jaundice, what the implications that it will create, nobody told me. So all that I knew was that I was getting rid of the jaundice. Then at the end of the day, I will be able to go home with my child.
Okay.
And in fact, after a month or two at Kolebu, I think 1 month, 1
Oh,
week
you were
at
referred
Kolebu.
from 37 to Kolebu.
Yes. They noticed that there was some masses in the kidney. They said one kidney did not develop well, and there was some masses. So at that time, 37 was renovating their theater. So they referred us to Kolebu for an urgent operation. But when we went to Kolebu and the specialist came to see, he said, no, children at that age actually developed on its own and it may go down. So he asked me to pray. So, and truly it really did work. It got back to normal. So it was in a way good that I went to Kolebu, because if I were at 37, they would have operated, but the specialist looked at it and he said, no. He asked, do you know how to pray? I said, yes. He said, pray. Children like this, when they are going,
Okay.
developed on its own. So I was lucky it actually developed on its own and that aspect was gone. But the jaundice was still there till a month. She was still yellow. So I stayed in Kolebu. We did tests, toxoplasmosis came positive and other things. Then we ran a lot of tests on her. So it was later that I was discharged and they said everything was okay. They did not actually, what they gave was blood, but they did not exchange, they did not remove the blood, no, nothing. But she was given blood because they said she was pink. So after all the test was done, I was told that she was okay, so I could go home. And in fact, nothing showed on her that she was going to have any kind of deformity because she was really okay. But it was on the fourth day that I noticed. It was on the fourth day that fourth month that I noticed that the neck actually didn't have much strength in it. So when she sits, the neck drops and she actually, if it drops on the left, she goes to the left. If it's on the right, she goes on the right. So it was on the fourth month that I saw that this is not like the other boys, because the other boys from 3 to 4 months, you could put them in the chair, they could sit, you could just support them a little. But this one, no matter how you support, the neck still drops to either the back, the front, or the side. Then I noticed that something was wrong again.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have just joined us today, we are sharing my story. And I'm talking to Mrs. Ellen Afam Dazi. She's telling us her story with her child, beautiful baby girl who has cerebral palsy. And we are now at the point where the child is 4 months old and she's noticing for the first time that this child is not developing like the siblings, 2 brothers that she had. So we will continue and she'll share her story as to how the journey has been like. How has she managed? How has she coped? And what support has she received from the husband and from others. So this is where we are now. If you have just joined us, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that yet. And also call others, because you might learn something that you can use for yourself or you will use to help somebody else. Mrs. Afamdazi.
Yes, madam.
So how has the journey been since that time?
Oh, Doc, it has not been easy. If I tell anybody that it was a smooth ride, I would be lying. It's been challenging. It's been frustrating. Sometimes you just wish, you just wake up and nothing, all the situation and the condition is just gone. And in fact, the first time when I noticed that the neck was not actually, it didn't have much strength, I went to the same hospital. It was a private hospital. I went there again on the 6th month. And the doctor told me that, oh, some children develop slowly, because on the 6th month, then I was convinced, because from the 4th month, I thought, oh, okay, she will come around. Maybe she's a little bit slow. But on the 6th month, I was convinced that it was really a problem, because still the neck was really bad. She wasn't sitting well. And so I went back, and the doctor asked me that I should give it time, that some children develop slowly. The developmental stages are different from others. And since she's a girl, that may be, so I should give it time. I gave it time till the 9th month, and I couldn't give it time again. So I went back, and this time around, she was not feeling so well, so I went to the Ridge Hospital. Then I met one Dr. Cerebral, and she was the eye opener. She actually told me what's the condition, what was really wrong. So for the first time since giving birth, it was actually on the 9th month that a doctor at Ridge told me what was really wrong with my child. So she asked, your child has cerebral palsy. Are you aware? I said, okay. The name sounds nice. I said, okay. And she said, okay. I said, why okay?
The name sounds nice. I see.
And then she laughed and she shook her head. Because I could imagine that she was like thinking, are you okay? Are you for real? Like saying that. But I didn't know what it was. So to me, I thought it was just a normal sickness or malaria thing. It will just, you give me the medication and it's gone and other things. So she said, okay, I want to have a word with you. Then she started. Okay, so her development may delay. She may not work as the ages the brothers did, and you need help. I said, no, I don't need help. I have two boys. This is my only girl, so I don't need help. She looked at me again and said, you need help. I said, no, I can manage. The hands started, I think her stage was the severe one. So when you put her at one side, she'll be lying there until you come and turn her or move there. It was then frustrating. Then the society stigma and everything also started dawning on me, whereby you sit in a trotro, nobody wants to sit beside you. And when there was a time a woman slapped me from the back that I should carry my child well. And due to that, I stopped going to physio at Kolebu. I said I wasn't going again. And 1 year, 2 years down the line, it was getting worse than it was. So now they're saying the girl that, okay, just the neck. Now you could see that, okay, now the arms are also bringing its form. The legs are also bringing its forms. And things started changing. And people then she started rolling as well. So people don't want to come closer to you. When you are selling, people don't want to buy from you and stuff. It became so frustrating and challenging. It got to a time it was just left with myself, my husband, and my kids. Yes. Wow. For almost 5 years through the journey, it was just these people, my husband, my kids, and myself. No friends, no family. Everybody withdraw. And the pressure from family, when it came that I should let the child go, when they say let your child go means kill the child. And because most of the people do not understand that it's a medical condition that could happen. They think that, okay, it is something that has happened and it could happen to anybody at any time. So they actually wanted me to kill her, and I wasn't ready to kill such a beautiful girl with a beautiful smile. So I said, no, I can't do it, because they asked, let her go. And one day I remember asking them, on which road? Is it on the Navrongo road or the Temple road or Polika road? And they got angry. They seriously got angry. And since then, everybody drew back. When there was a family meeting, anything, nobody calls me. Because when I'm coming, she will come with her child. And it became frustrating. But at the end of the day, we still kept the faith, because I had the faith that, okay, whatever purpose for her life, because I wasn't much, the first 4 years, up to the 5th year, I was in denial. I didn't accept. I wasn't. But later I came to the realization that why am I looking at her disability? Why am I looking at her physical appearance? Why am I not looking beyond it? That there's something that she is bringing that will turn around my life. And in fact, that is what turned around my life.
Okay.
It is her that turned around my life. Yes.
I see. So how did it affect your own work? Because surely you needed time to take care of her. So how could you combine the two, and how did it affect your work, if in any way?
Okay. So initially, I was going to work and also coming back to take care of her. But it got to a time that she will have she had attacks. Hers was not seizures, but her was that when her condition was in such a way that when she gets either malaria or infection, she bites herself. And she bites herself, it becomes so serious that her whole mouth gets swollen and you see blood and sore. So almost every month I had to spend like 5 days. It was constant. Every month I'll spend a week or 5 days at the hospital. So my boss got one day called and said, I can't handle it again. Because in as much as I care about your child, at the end of the day, I also care about my business. So I'm sorry, I have to let you go. So I was dismissed. I was raised well and said, you need time to take care of your girl. So I think you should go and sit at the house. And I said, how am I supposed to take care of her without money? And she said, I can't do this again. And she actually gave me a dismissal letter. So I had a 247 job with her now. And it became because of the medical condition and the expenses involved. Every month you're at the hospital, you are buying the drugs, the health insurance do not cover their drugs. You need to get this, run this test that are very expensive. So it drained us financially. And that is the state that when people get, they think that, oh, okay, the child is scared, no. It's because you are not working, you are not doing much, and you are spending all the one you have saved at the hospital. Yeah. So automatically what you have saved will drain off since you are not adding more. So that is what happened. So it got to a time, it became very, very difficult, very difficult. That buying her diaper was even impossible.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Mrs. Afamdas, you have done so well. Going through and even smiling, it's very, very good to see that you are smiling about all this. It is really great to see that. So let's talk about the help that your husband has given. Because in some instances, we know that some people are left on their own with their children because it's so challenging, as you have just described. It's so challenging for the parents to stay in the home with a child like that. So what can you say about the help that you have received from your husband?
In fact, I always say that he was a God sent. In fact, if there's any husband that is the best in the world, it is mine. I always say that my husband is the best husband ever, because through it all, there was not a day that he left. There are times that when I visit the hospitals and I come back with so much discouragement, the pastors discourage me. And I even don't want to touch my child because I remember a pastor telling me that every 12 midnight, my child turns into a snake. And if there's any animal I'm afraid of, it's snake. So I didn't even want to get closer. And he was there. He will carry her, bath her, feed her, and make sure that when he goes to work, he runs back and come and feed, because I was scared to hold her because they have put in my mind that she turns into a snake. And she was there, and he was like, I was so frustrated. There was a day he told me that this up and down at pastors, and one day you will bring witchcraft to. And I was like, he told me that he's not going anywhere again. Apart from the child is saying he's going to the hospital, he's just giving it to God, and he will do what he can. And he has been there. He was there. His family pressure was on him to also let the child go. But he has been there. And he's not the one that listens to this or that. No. He actually blocked his mind from whatever whoever says. And I think that aspect also helped, because he wasn't coming back with any. When I come back discouragement, he would tell me that God has a purpose. Let's look up to it. I know my daughter will work. I know. So she even he actually composed a song for her. And
Wow.
anytime he's with her, he's like, Nana, my Nana, my pretty girl. Nana, my pretty girlie. Oh, she can walk, dance. Oh, pretty baby, walk. So anytime he was he was there. He was so much there. And I think that is one thing most of the men should do, because I have a lot of mothers in the organization that the parent, that is the fathers, have run away. And it becomes so frustrating when they leave, because he was there. The times that I am down, he will be up. When he's down, I am also be up doing it. So it's actually kept us going. But if you are alone, then which means when you are down, who lifts you up?
Yeah.
So it's very difficult. That is one thing that the men, and now I think he is proud of himself. He can boldly say that, yes, he was there throughout the journey and he has seen the outcome of it. I think now we can smile again. I went back to school after how many? After 15 years, I went back to school. Now, now I'm doing things that I never thought I could do, all because we did not abandon her, all because we actually faced the situation. We accepted, we took it as a medical condition, not listening to what people will say again, because that is one thing that delays. And that was one thing, because I went off for four years. Her physio, her nerves, her muscles became stiff. If I had not gone off and I stayed on focus, maybe she will even be walking by now. Yeah. But because I listened to people and I went off physio, when I came back, most of the parts were stiff. So that is one thing I will tell people: don't listen around. The child is with you for a purpose. Give her all the opportunities she needs. Open the door for her and let her develop in a way that she will. And also, don't always look at the physical aspect, because there is a positive aspect of her you wouldn't see in the physical. You can only see in the spiritual. Yes, so that is what I will always tell people.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have just joined us today, I'm talking to Mrs. Elena Afamdazi. She is the mother of this sweet girl, and she's telling us her journey with cerebral palsy. She's told us about her pregnancy and when she delivered, what happened, and some of the challenges that she has gone through since it was realized that this child has cerebral palsy. Mrs. Afamdazi, yes, congratulations. And also congratulations to your husband. That song is so sweet. Yes, it's so sweet, because some people are left on their own when they have children who have cerebral palsy. So for him to have stayed and also supported you as his own child, and that is the role of the man, that is commendable. And we actually commend him for that. Now, how old is our sweet girl now? And do you have any lessons for us as healthcare providers and also for the general public?
Okay, and Nanama will be 12 years in May.
Wow.
1st May. She's a May, so she'll be 12 years on in 1st May. And one thing that, in fact, most of the challenges that I got outside was actually with the health sector. The thing is that after Nanama had the jaundice, Doc, you know that the 3 boys that follows, the 3 boys that followed also had jaundice.
Wow.
But this round, I won't leave the hospital until they are put under the phototherapy. I won't. So I didn't leave the hospital. I said, no, I won't leave the hospital until they are actually well taken. And in fact, all of them came out okay. All of them, even though stayed like 6 days before, he stayed under the light for 6 days before the jaundice cleared up. He came out okay. But because Nanamba, I didn't know, the doctors also didn't actually, because they should have seen it. They told me that I've had a white child, not knowing the child was actually jaundice, not that she was a white child. So what I would say is that the doctors should pay more attention with some of this kind of challenges, because if we come to the health, I enter the health because I think I don't know much. I think they know more. So if you leave the hospital without getting the facts right and you go and at the end of the day you get this condition, it is on you for a lifetime. Yeah. If the nurse had not told that some children are warm-blooded, they said, okay, talk to the doctor, let's see. And maybe I've spoken to the doctor. Maybe at that stage, at that second day, something could have been done for her. Yeah. But because she told me that, I am even sure she herself didn't even know anything about jaundice and its outcomes and what it can bring. So I'm sure she just saw it and said, some children are warm-blooded, but not knowing some children are not warm-blooded. It says there's something wrong that is making her run that temperature. So if she had actually done it, I would say that there's a lot the health, I always say there's a lot that they need to do. Those that have not actually gone much into it, knowing about the disability and what it brings, they should actually get to know. And when one thing, the doctors should know that they are working with us. They should listen. The health sector, they should listen. I enter the hospital, sometimes she has just ear infection. When I enter the hospital, they see her and they rush me to emergency. Then I'll tell them, no, I am only coming for ear infection. She just has ear infection. I just need to see the ENT, then I'm gone. Then they will rush me to, sometimes I'll spend a day or so. Then I said, I don't need to be here. There's nothing. Then when they have run their test and they see that nothing is wrong, then they now say, okay, you can go. I said, I came in because of health. So but
they also want to look at it, isn't it? Maybe they want to make sure that they don't miss anything. What do you think?
Sometimes when they see her shaking, especially with the nurses, they see her shaking, they think that, something is happening to her. Then I said, no, she's like that. I always tell them, no, she's like that. And it's like, then like you will be dead. Doctor will come and doctor will say that, there's nothing wrong. I think she's okay. Is that how she is? Is that how she moves? I said, yes. Before they will let you know. By that time, you spend like hours at the hospital. So I think that they should work hand in hand with the parents. When we come, we live with them. I know they have studied all in and out, but we live with them. We know the in and the out. We know how they change. We know how they smile. We know how they cry. We know the in and out. So sometimes when you come, sometimes when you are telling them that remember there was a doctor that told me, do you want to teach me my job? And I said, no, I can't teach you your job. I can teach you what my daughter is going through. I can teach you what is wrong with my daughter because she's with me 24/7. So you know your job. So it becomes frustrating. And sometimes they should also learn how to break certain news. Because if I go to a hospital and doctor looked at me and said, medically, we have reached our limits, so there's nothing we can do for you again. Then in a way, you are telling me that I should accept what my family is saying, that I should let her go. But at the end, if you say that, okay, let's see, something might come up. Of course, I go with the hope that something may come up one day. But if you look at me wrongly and tell me that medically we have reached our limits, so there's nothing we can do for her again, then of course you are telling me that, okay, then it's time for me to kill her. Wow. So I think that the health should also know how to narrate some of the issues, the story, break the news in a nice way, that because I know most mothers, when they come to the center, to my place, they break down due to one word a doctor or a nurse said. So the health should also know how to narrate some of the issues out so that you will not go home and take certain decisions that you will regret for the rest of your life. So I think that is it. And also one major thing, I think it is high time that the pediatrics ward should also consider mothers as well. We have sat in the chair, our legs are all swollen up, we are tired. I am just coming out of a 7-day sitting with Nanama. We were just discharged yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And my legs are all swollen. So they should also consider mothers that at least when they cot in the bed they should do something smart so that we the mothers can also get somewhere to also rest our legs a little bit, because sitting in the chair, and the unfortunate thing is that the chair is too hard that you sit on it and you get yourself. So I think that's why I'm sending it to the Ministry of Health, that at the end of the day, they should also try and do something small about mothers that bring their children, because we are almost there. Almost every month we go there. So we have become most part of the ward and other things. So they should also try and consider, so that we will not sit in the chair for 1 week, 1 month as we are taking care of our kids, because when we break down, it will be an issue. Then apart from that, I want to tell mothers that have children with who have special needs kids that all is not lost. I've seen children that didn't work for 12 years, that didn't work for 30 years, but at the end of the day, they are still in the wheelchair. They are making something great out of their lives. At the end of the day, it is not about her running. It is not her about finishing the secondary school, finishing the university, finishing this. It's about what she carries. It's about the joy she brings to the family. It's about what the love you are able to give her. Because a smile from her changed my day. So all things from me is the love. I think she has come out this far down the line because the family, when you come and see the brothers giving her so much love, and I did not treat her special, that no, don't touch her, don't know. We eat together, we make sure we pray together, we do everything together. When we are praying, it gets to a 10 and it's your turn to pray. We all keep quiet, no sound comes, but we and when she's done, we say amen. Because at the end of the day, praying to us, she's praying to God. So we make sure that we do everything together, and that is what is keeping us going. So please do not separate her, do not keep her in the room, lock her up and treat the other siblings special. No, they are all one, differently able. That is all. You just need to treat all of them the same. And at the end of the day, the blessing that will come out of that love you are showing her, you will not be able to measure it. So that is a letter I want to tell everybody. Thank you so much. And God bless you.
This is interesting. Even the way you said she's differently able. Wow.
Yes.
Not disabled, but differently able. That is very, very good. So, somebody listening may wonder, a woman who has a child with cerebral palsy that is now 12 years old, and she can smile, she can say that the child is just differently able, and encouraging other women. What is the secret? What is giving you that strength?
The secret is God. And the secret is that I've cried. In fact, if I can put her on, and that is her lying down there with a brother. They were actually watching a game, and that is her. So if you've not seen mine, let me show you mine. Maybe yours is working. And this is mine. She lies down 247, but that is her smile. You've seen it. That is her smile. And this smile is going. Yes. So the secret is actually is God, because there were times that I wanted to give up, but I said, no, I won't. Because I noticed one thing, that she needs me. I'm her strength. If I give up, then what happens to her? Because she is going through the pain. She is going through all the lying down. Or in fact, when people speak rudely at you, it is her they are speaking to, not you. So if I give up, then what happens to her? So I noticed one thing, that with Nanama, and I remember one of the doctors told me, with Nanama, it is God, myself, and her. Just the three of them. God, myself, and her. And that means, and that was what I told all my kids. With Nanama, when it comes, it is God, herself, and whoever that is showing her that love. And we actually, because I worked for 6 years, and all that I got was pity. All I got was pity. 6 years, all I got was pity. People would turn and, oh, sorry, and they turn and they laugh. But when I said that I will laugh again, I will move proudly with my child again, people rather tend to respect me, rather tend to appreciate her more. So locking her inside the room and crying, it is not the solution. Saying you won't go to the hospital again because one doctor or one patient or whoever that you met on the way spoke rudely to you, that the person does not understand. When he is given that opportunity to get a child like that, will not even be able to stand the test of time. You will be able to stand the test of time. You should be proud of yourself, and you should be able to come out with that child. Because if somebody's child is walking, at least mine is also lying down. It's two different things. Yours is walking, mine is lying. Yes, so at the end of the day, because your child, you may joke with your child for hours before your child gives you a smile. I don't need to joke. She just needs to look at my face, and that smile will say, Mommy, I thank you. Yes, so at the end of the day, mothers that have children with special needs, be proud and come out with them. They have more in them than what you are seeing on the physical. I always say this, they have more to give than what you are seeing on the physical. So give them the opportunity. And at the end of the day, you will see that God did not give you a curse. God gave you a blessing. God gave you a testimony. You appreciate it.
Wow. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, this is amazing. That Mrs. Afamdaze and the husband, they have this sweet little girl who is 12 years now, and she hasn't walked, she cannot talk, but she smiles. And that is a joy to her. She looks at her face and she gets that smile. And that inner strength that she has, which she has shared with us, is something that we hope that people would be able to learn from and gather. It is just amazing. Mrs. Afamdaz, I know that you also support other families or other women who have. How many women do you have in your organization now?
We have our 125 kids now. Some of the parents have two, some have three, and recently we had one that some has also four, but she lost one. So we have most of them that has 2, 3, and others also have 1. So we have about 125 kids now that we support.
One woman has 3 children who have cerebral palsy.
Yes, who has others, the other ones who has with other conditions like autism and cerebral palsy. So we have, but the center is not able to take, what the center does is that we take only 15 to 20. That is how many the social welfare will allow us to keep at a time. So the rest, what we do is that when we get support, like donations, like we call them, they come, we give it to them. Sometimes we visit them in their various homes and we support them. Yes. And the mothers too, we train them in liquid soap, parasol, any vocational training, so that they will also be able to earn some kind of living for themselves, so that condition will not be a guarantee for poverty, so that you will be able to sell or do something for yourself. Because some of them that were selling food and other things, people were not buying from them again because of the child ruling. So what we did was that we taught them parasol and other things, because if somebody wants to scrub his bathroom or something, he would just come and just buy a few and go. So that is what one thing we actually do at the center, yes, for them.
Wow, it's amazing. It's amazing. And people may not know what it is like, but you have shared with us your experience in these past 12 years. I have personally visited your place, so I know what you are describing, and I've seen your child, and I've seen the other children who come to the place, and you have been a big support for them. I'm sure that out of your work, women whose husbands probably have left them, and I don't know, have they shared that story with you, that some of them, the husbands have left them with their children?
Yes, most of them, their husbands have left them. There's one woman that she had 4 kids with her husband, and the husband took the 3 regular or able kids and left this one with her. A marriage of so many years, and he left the one with the special needs with her, and she has taken care of the child. The child is about 30-something years now, and when they tell you that story, she actually took. It's not that he left the others; he took the ones that he think were okay, and left. Has a condition with them, and for several years she has stayed single, taking care of the child, and it's been challenging and frustrating. I think if the man had been around, the story would have been different.
Yeah,
because the child couldn't have physio, and the muscles are all stiff, he's all folded up, and when you see, sometimes it's a little bit worrying. And a lot of them, some of them, through the organization and encouraging ourselves and other things, have been able to move on. Have been able to know that, okay, maybe it's not worth it. Because I call those men cowards. They are cowards. So they couldn't. They moved away. But most of the mothers have been able, some of them, they told me, Anthony, this is when I came and joined this organization, that I saw the light again, that I could smile again. And they are moving on. But I think that if the men could stay and help to bring these children up, it will be far better. It will save a lot, and it will also help the children, because this one couldn't go for physio again and the child is all folded up. If the man was there, maybe he could have taken that chance. Oh, okay, let me drop you, let me escort you, and it would have been more easier. So a lot of them, a lot of mothers that the fathers have run away, but at the end of the day, through the organization, through encouraging ourselves, they are able to move on. But it is better if we stay, because we had a case with you. So it's better, no matter what, to stay. Help us to raise the case together. Yeah.
Okay, you see that. Mrs. Elena from Dazi, today it has been special. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are wondering what we are talking about cerebral palsy. And Mrs. Dazi and the husband, they have a beautiful baby girl who is almost 12 years now, and she has cerebral palsy. So she has shared her story with us as to the journey so far. It has not been easy, but by God's grace, she's been able to go through with the husband, and they are still loving this little girl who is differently abled. Yeah, her ability is different from other children's ability. Said, if your child is walking, mine is lying down. What's the big deal? Mrs. Dazi, I believe that those listening to us might also have their own children with cerebral palsy, or they might know somebody who has cerebral palsy. So can they come to you? Can we let them come to you?
Yes, with God's cerebral palsy is open his admission to take in more kids. So if you have a child with disability, if your child needs a school to go somewhere that you can have a child, you can go and work and do something for yourself. Our place is always opened. You can call us and bring your child. If you also have a child that you think that, okay, is at home, is too big, you can't carry, you want us to come and have a look and maybe bring the physio closer to your doorsteps, we can also do that for you. So any mother that is there crying, cry no more. We are smiling now, not because our kid is walking or running, no, but because we have seen greater than there's the physical aspect of it. So call, let's share, let's run together, let's laugh together, let's encourage ourselves. You can also join the organization if you don't think that maybe your child needs somewhere to go. You can also join with God CP Ghana anytime. So you can just call us anytime that you think that you have an issue. You can just call us. My line is always open. I traveled, I'm back. So my line is always open. You can always get me 24/7 every time. Yes.
Wow. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is just amazing. Mrs. Elena Famdas, I cannot thank you enough for your time. You are so passionate about what you are doing, and it is good that you see that this is not something that God used to punish you, but it is something that, as you said, you are seeing the other side. You are not just looking at your child physically, but you are looking at what she has made you to become. And that is good, because you are offering support to families that also have children who have similar abilities, and that is amazing. God bless you. And
God bless you.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, today we have shared the journey with cerebral palsy. It has not been easy, but through it all, she has learned to stand strong with her husband, and they are providing strength and support to other women and other families that have similar children. So that is something that she's asking, that if you have any child who has cerebral palsy, then their doors are open. You can join them. They will work with you so that you can also receive that strength that you need to stand. For the husbands, please, if it is found that your child has some form of difference as you look at that child and another child that you have, that is not the time to abandon the mother and this child. It is the time to give the support. That is what she's saying, that if the men do that, the women will be able to cope better with living with their children. And she's also told us that see beyond just the physical. I know that it is easier said than done because she had to leave her job. She had to do something else. But out of this, she's gone to school. And did you notice that even after that, she's had 3 more children? And she's in school, level 400. So it is not about the end of life when you have a child who is differently abled, as she says. So please get in touch and we'll link you up and see how best you can be supported. If you're also listening to us and you can offer any support, she said that they will need to move. Sometimes they need to move these children. And they cannot just take any taxi or anything and put this child in. So if you can support them in any way. And again, she says that if you are celebrating any anniversary and you want somewhere to share that joy, that love with people, go to the orphanages to offer their love and they share with them. That is another place that you can go to and share love with them. And also if you can support them in any way, she says that will be welcome. So don't hesitate at all. If you want to get in touch with her, she's open. You can get in touch with her. If you send us a message, we'll link you up and then she can talk to you, whether you have a child who needs that kind of help or you have something that you want to give to support the work that they are doing. And I believe that God will bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Online Pregnancy School. Today, we have shared a very important story of living with a child who has cerebral palsy. Once again, my name is Dr. Linda Vanutu, and it is always my pleasure to come your way with very interesting, educative, and life-transforming sessions that will help you to help somebody. Because as I say, pregnancy should be a time of joy and not anxiety or fear. Today we have learned one, that the child is differently abled, not disabled. Mrs. Afamdazi, thank you so much. Thank you. God bless you. And I wish you well. I pray for more strength for you and for your husband as well. And in fact, your other children, because they have been showing so much love to their sister. So God bless them all.
Amen.
Yes.
Thank you so
Ladies
much,
and gentlemen, see you in my next video where I bring you another interesting topic. Bye for now. Bye.